Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is leading off. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia. That, of course, that handsome young man is Dinger Dan Harris, and we're coming to you live as we do every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, talking baseball with you. And I see somebody is here for the first time, and their response, I'm here live for the first time. How riveting. You're right, by the box. How riveting it is to be with us live. Dan Harris, a very short slate of baseball, but we got a cool show because we're going to redraft the first round, talk about some bounce back guys, talk about a huge 15-game slate. So we got a lot to do, even though last night nobody was working out in Major League Baseball, basically.
I totally blew last night. I this is a night where I could have gone to bed super early, recharged the batteries, and instead, I don't know, I just hung out. I started putting together my kids' Millennium Falcon Lego set, and
Nice.
I went to bed as late as possible again, so I'm already exhausted. But yeah, it was weird, Joe. Was it weird for you? Like I get like the All-Star break, of course. It's bizarre time with no baseball at all. I don't know what to do with myself. But I can't remember a day, like a random day in the season where suddenly there were just 3 games. I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes you get those Monday, Thursday getaway days with a light
Yeah,
schedule. And they've
but
built
3.
things in there too, so there's a little bit of buffers in case there are COVID outbreaks, which, by the way, so far as the season's gone on, it's really hasn't affected things. Obviously, last year was crazy. That's why I kind of just protested the whole season. I was just like, this is going to be impossible to do. But overall, at least we've gotten those games, and they had to play doubleheaders to be able to get them off without a hitch, which is good. But let's start with the ups and the downs from yesterday. Manny Machado goes yard, and the Pods beat the Cubs. Christian Arroyo, not to be confused with Bronson Arroyo and his fantastic cornrows that he used to have, which I miss that guy. Multi-hit game lifts the Red Sox over the Marlins, and Dylan Bundy gets his first W of the season, and it is June 7th where he got this. Today is June 8th, so yesterday was the 7th. So Dan Harris, does he get the participation trophy or what?
Sure. I'm all for it. I mean, good job by you. He was staked to quite a lead there anyway, and he almost immediately gave it back. But yeah, not that impressive from Bundy. Only 2 strikeouts. I don't know, Joe. I want to talk myself into buying low on the guy, but it just, you watch him and it's just incredibly just meh. So yeah, participation trophy. I'm glad you have a win. One more win than I do on the season. Very well done, but not excited whatsoever at this point.
Oh, he's no Kevin Gossman, that's for sure.
That's true.
All right. Let's talk about the downs. Angels Mike Trout says he has no timetable for a return. That's not going to sit well with a lot of people, I'm sure. A Giants third baseman, Evan Longoria, out 4 to 6 weeks after a collision. And unfortunately, it was not the debut that many people hoped for Jackson Kowar. 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned, 3 walks, 39 pitches. This is the stuff that you saw from him in spring training, which is why he didn't make the big club in the first place. And overall, it was not a good day yesterday for the kids because Kowar was bad. Keston Hiura got sent down again, and Jared Kelenic did get sent down, and we talked about it yesterday. It was the right thing to do, whether or not they were going to do it or not. But I think good on the Mariners. His development's more important than this season. I do think he's the kind of guy that would have figured it out, but you know what? Just let him clear his head for a couple weeks. He'll figure it out. It'll be fine. But your thoughts on these 3 guys, because these are 3 youngsters everyone's excited about, and unfortunately, not too much in the contribution end of things.
Yeah, if you watched Kawar last night, you knew it was going to be bad immediately. He was just all over the place, and he wasn't. I mean, command is one of his things, right? He doesn't walk a lot of guys, and you saw his changeup or whatever it is. It almost looked like a splitter. You watched him throw it, and he was really pronating the wrist. It was an interesting pitch, and it's filthy, but he just couldn't approach the zone basically with any of his pitches. So very amped up. I wouldn't go if you picked him up like I did in several leagues. I wouldn't drop him. Like, let's see probably what he does against Oakland. Hopefully gets his nerves under him a little bit. But his raw stuff is solid. You just, not the debut you're looking for. Here, you can just drop. And I'll take a huge L on that one.
Is he a bust? I mean, going into the season, this is one of the guys that I know I had circled as avoid at the current cost by all means necessary. And then I thought it was intriguing. I thought it was an interesting buy when he got sent down. But is he just now bust, cut, forget it, done? Or, Kelenic, everybody knows, still a long way to go. He might come back up again and hit in the second half of the season. But here and now, this is not good. This is like the yo-yo routine. You don't see this very often.
Yeah, I'm okay to cut Hira in a redraft league for sure. And look, the reason why I was so bullish on him was because you saw the strikeout rate in 2020 was 34.6%. And that was crazy because, he was at 30%, roughly 30.7% in his rookie year, and he got away with it. And I was like, well, he never struck out quite that much in the minors. So he'll improve on that as he gets going. But instead, he went the other way and he did poorly. And then you were like, okay, that's problematic, but surely he's going to revert to kind of the form that made him one of these heralded prospects. And instead, he's striking out 39.3% and just looks lost. So long term, maybe he figures it out. Again, he was not a huge strikeout guy in the minors, but for this year, you can cut him, in my opinion, because if they're willing to cut this, remember, Joe, this is not the Mariners, right? This is not a team that probably is not going to compete this year. This is the Brewers, who are right there in their division. I think they're in first place as of right now. They need production from anywhere they can get it. And the fact that they recalled him because he hit a few balls hard down in AAA and then immediately sent him back down means they just don't have faith that he's going to be able to turn around. So in redraft formats, I'm willing to move on without a doubt from Hira.
Hot take for you. Ready for this? They sent him back down to protect him a little bit because he's going to be part of a trade. I'm telling you right now.
Well, why would you trade him now, though, when his value's got to be so low? How much lower
because this isn't fantasy. He's still cheap. You're forgetting the economics of baseball. I think the economics of baseball, what builds into this, people look at the minor league track record. They saw some success at the major league level. They say this is a controllable guy for a couple years before arbitration. Yeah, we'll take a shot. We'll figure it out. He still has value in a package. And I think that's what you do. And the more you expose failure at the major league level and the more the kid hits at AAA, you can kind of start to, at least kind of mitigate that risk a little bit. And for whatever reason, a lot of people think, hey, you know what? Let me get my hands on him. Maybe I can fix him. Look at Andrew Benintendi. there's a perfect example of a guy
maybe if Brody Van Wagenen is the GM of another team, he's like, go take a shot. But regardless, in redraft, I would drop him. Kelnick, by the way, 0 long-term concerns like dynasty, everything like that, 0 whatsoever. But this is not something where I think he's going to go down for a week and have a hot week and be brought back up because I think he's got to be down there for a little bit of time. But he will be back up at some point later in the year. Hopefully he does well in AAA. But Dynasty, 0 concerns with him in that.
No, 0 concerns in Dynasty. In keeper leagues, you hold on. In redraft leagues, you do what you got to do. Yep. You do what you got to do. This is a good question here from one of our Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Yeah. Zivko Bezulev, who is a good
his first day in the pot as well. I think he also said earlier.
I don't remember you, but it's nice to see you here. This is a good question. Too many teams calling up prospects too soon nowadays. I think that's a question. I'm going to make it a question. I think it's partially, it's the pressure of the economics because they're cheaper. But I also think it's the pressure of the players being more major league ready physically. They're not all major league ready mentally. And I think that's what you saw at Kawhi last night. It's not the physical aspects. These guys are more ready. These guys have had better instruction at younger ages. They're more developed. They're more advanced in skill set. But I think it's also the injuries that have put this on teams as well, where there's that pressure of where do we go now? We got to go down to the well with the kids. So, yeah, I think it's a perfect storm of a lot of things. And you see some kids come up and have success and others don't, and that's never going to change in Major League Baseball. I think the temptation is the physical skills are all there. It's the mental skills and the mental toughness of the Major League Baseball travel schedule, the intimidation factor, the better pitching, all that stuff that kind of enters into it a little bit. But what are your thoughts? Are we seeing too many prospects get to the big leagues too quickly nowadays?
Oh, I wouldn't say that as a general matter, teams are suddenly promoting prospects quicker than they used to. I think really the biggest thing is, and we have to keep this in mind, we lost a year of baseball last year, a year for these kids, right? There was no minor league ball. So you take a kid development. And again, we talk prospect growth. It's not whatever linear, it comes and goes. So you need the reps, you need the time in the minors. So suddenly you have these kids who were drafted and they might have had a 2019 season. Then they basically missed all of last year, alternate site, schmalternate site. They missed regular playing last year. Then they come in now and you can't treat them just regular, no matter how well they did in 2019. So if I were a major league GM, I would be really careful with all, especially my hitting prospects for sure, but all of my prospects right now with the understanding that the big deal is that they missed a year of baseball. They need this extra time in the minors right now. So for this year, I would take my time.
Yeah, and here's another one from By the Box, too. Ding, 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 Joe. How do you keep a physical specimen like Manoah down in AAA? You just can't, and that's the whole thing. There's that pressure. I like this one, too, from Dylan. Ketel Marte to the Brewers. That would be great. Yes, Keston Hiura in a package for Ketel Marte. That makes a ton of sense. I'm telling you right now, I think what the Brewers said, look, this is not going the right direction. Let's stick him down AAA. We'll figure it out at the major league level. And Keston Hiura, I mean, you look at this Brewers, minor league system. There's not a whole lot now for them. Freddie Peralta's not getting moved. Some of the younger talents really. Corbin Burns ain't going nowhere. So who's left? Keston Hiura. He's a major league ready piece. He's played in the big leagues already. It's still has more baseball ahead of him. All right, let's have a little fun here. So Dan Harris and I said, you know what? Tomorrow, there's not a lot to recap. So I don't even want to recap. I want to redraft the first round. And I want to give Dan Harris the number 1 overall pick. And we're going to go 12 here. So I hope you're prepared. I hope you got your fancy rankings out, which, by the way, you can find his rankings at FantasyPros. Dan always has his rankings. In fact, they're always ready at a moment's notice. If he gets pulled over by a police officer, he goes, excuse me, I'm Dan Harris. These are my rankings. And he shows him his phone. So I'm going to give you the first pick, and we'll call it a roto draft because, blah, blah, that's what everybody plays. But it's still like 60-40 now, by the way. It's very close. It's nearly 50-50. So I'll be the head-to-head guy up here and in my heart, but in this practice, let's call it roto. So I'm giving you the 1-1.
Okay.
Who are you taking right now? We're redrafting June 8th.
It's got to be Kyle Gibson. I'm just kidding.
Kyle Gibson would be very worthy of a pick.
I'm just kidding. For me, look, I mentioned yesterday that I wouldn't have a problem if you decide to take Jacob deGrom as the number 1 overall player, but I am going to take Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, the guy is he's got 17 home runs and 11 steals already. He has cut his strikeout rate to 21%. He's batting .278. To me, Joe, this is like he's in a tier unto himself as a hitter at the very least. So he's my 1-1. Out of curiosity, at the 1-1, would you have taken Acuna? I mean, I know you took Soto and all that, right? You took him in the FBI and everything like that.
I love me some Soto. I'm still happy taking Soto. I would take Tatis, and I'm going to take him second. Fernando Tatis Jr., because he's been so good. He's been a points machine. He just scores runs. He steals bases. I don't know. And also the fun of this practice is this is helpful for everybody who's in keeper dynasty formats that's kind of falling out of contention. This is also your top list of assets. So this is like where you should be targeting and where you should be ranking them. So you're third now on the board. You got Soto, you got Vlad, you got the Ohtani Spites, or you got DeGrom. Which way are you going?
Well, I do have one question for you, Joe. You have no concerns about the shoulder anymore?
Of course I have concerns, but I'm still going to do it because I love Fernando Tatis Jr.
I have,
and he showed me he can play through it, and he's playing pretty well.
I preached patience the entire, I preached hey, let's avoid him because I am concerned about the shoulder, whatever, blah, blah, but you can't at this point. He's too remarkable. For number 3, I will go DeGrom because again, that Zach Plesac there. Yeah, there you go. Mike Mayer, always ready with the Zach Plesac. I am going to take DeGrom because DeGrom to me is a tier unto himself. I think the Sotos of the world, the Mookie Betts of the world probably drop down just a tad, but DeGrom's just on a completely different level at this point. He's even winning games now, so for me, DeGrom third overall, very little hesitation for me.
All right, I have no hesitation with taking Juan Soto fourth. And I understand the DeGrom 3. He is in his own universe.
Would you have done that, by the way, or would you have taken Soto?
I would have taken Soto and then DeGrom probably 4. I think it's those 3 hitters and then everybody else because Mookie and Trout and those guys have kind of fallen back. And again, this is redrafting the first round and Trout's not healthy, so I don't know where he falls or if you want to put him in here, but let's keep going here. So Soto 4, you're 5.
I am going to go with Betts, and I know Betts has had a disappointing season so far, but he does have 5 homers and 5 steals. He's still walking a ton. He's not striking out. His expected stats are much better. And again, whatever everybody did from this point forward means nothing. It's just about what we expect them to do going forward. So I do expect Betts to be closer to the Betts that we've seen in his career. I will take him 5th overall.
I will take Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 6th overall. Yeah. Very easy. I would have taken him over Betts right now. Yes, maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment, but I love what I'm seeing out of Vladdy. So these are your top 6 assets so far. Now let's go to 7. Who's next on your potential pick list?
I have a toss-up here between 2 guys, but I am going to go with the pitcher as well, Garrett Cole. I know the spin rate stuff. I joked about it with the stuff, but I do think that it's DeGrom in kind of his own little mini tier right now, then Cole in his own little mini tier, and then you drop down a little bit to the rest. So I will take Cole.
The rest? Is it Bieber and Burns? Is it
Bieber? All right, so Bieber for me still kind of sits in his own slightly ahead. And then, Joe, for me, maybe you don't agree with this. I have like 7 pitchers that are just all right there with Bauer, Darvish, Scherzer, Burns, Woodruff, Giolito, all those guys. I don't have a strong preference one over another. So for me, it's the top 3. But Cole, for me, I do think that there's a little bit of a dip between him and for me and my third guy, Bieber. So I'm going to take him 7th. I am wondering whether or not you're going to take the guy who I was thinking 8th, though.
Well, if he's one player, I want Shohei Ohtani. How's that? Because who's going to give you stats like that? So
yeah,
I can understand taking Cole, but I'll take Shohei Ohtani 8, open up the Spite store. Mike Trout's still on the board, by the way.
There's no way. By the way, I mean, Joe, you can take it. He's out until at least the All-Star break. Like for a guy who I'm going to miss at least.
But let's say overall let's say we're redrafting. Let's put
Are we doing this the same way? Because you and I are doing it.
I guess we're doing it right now.
From this point forward.
We'll leave Trout out of this conversation of the 12 because he's hurt. So you can slide Trout in wherever you want and figure out where you think value-wise he might be for you. But we'll just kind of put a big asterisk on him because he's NA. He's not available for the exercise.
No. Here's the deal, man. You probably are going to get roughly 3 months of Mike Trout, maybe a little less, and you're going to get roughly 4 months of every other player. If you think that at this point you would take 3 months of Mike Trout over it, I wouldn't, though, because again, we don't know when he's got that calf injury, man. When you have a calf injury and you are basically like, I felt like my Achilles popped, that's a bad calf injury. They're going to have to take it. Okay. So Ohtani is an excellent pick. I have no problems with it. I, though, am going to take a guy who I was actually debating at 7, and that's Trey Turner. And I feel like you haven't always been the biggest Trey Turner fan, but for me, maybe up there, right? Batting average is there. He's batting .311. He's got 10 home runs already, 10 and 13 steals. Like, I debated him at
has
7.
11 home runs. You want to tell me?
Okay, how many steals? What's he batting? Okay, relax. 10 homers and 13 steals. So you're an idiot. But yeah, I love Trey Turner. I had him, I think, 7th on my board coming into the year, maybe 8th. But he's right there, and there's an argument to push him higher. So I'll take him at 9.
Give me my boy Rafi Devers, number 10 overall.
Whoa! Yeah. We got to bounce back. We got to back up for a second.
No, Rafi
yesterday Devers. we joked about the trade chart and the fact that our guy greater than 0 waffles in the Discord was yelling at me for having Devers over Merrifield, and you said you like Merrifield more than Devers. But
no. I like them both. No. Whit Merrifield's my guy. I've done so many segments on Whit Merrifield over the last couple of years trying to shake people to understand how great of a player he is, but nobody cares. If you played in Boston, if you played in New York, if you played in Chicago, if you played in LA, he would be this household name because of how good he is. However, in terms of solidifying my fantasy, I'm looking for guys who could be MVPs. And I love Whit, but he's on MVP. Rafael Devers can hit 35 bombs this year. And that's
fine. Look, but then what you're saying is if somebody was saying, I will trade you my Rafael Devers for your Whit Merrifield, you're taking Devers then.
I'm taking Devers, but I would.
I thought yesterday you said differently.
No. Well, I love Whit Merrifield. No, I love Whit Merrifield, but there's a notch below. Whit is a 1A, and Devers is a 1. But in terms of points leagues, how you accumulate points in the scoring is very different. So you can put them much closer together, but still. So you got Jose Ramirez, you got also Jesse Winker, who I was very tempted to take here. I'm just putting it out there. Like, you got to start considering. And by the way, in my points league, Rafael Devers 215 points, Whit Merrifield 208 points. So that's the point.
I have them identical in value. So I am going to take Ramirez, by the way. That is my guy. And again, the lineup is weak, but it really does seem like, other than the fact that his batting average is 262, again, 13 homers, 6 steals, the steals that you throw in. And Devers, by the way, again, since he's 3 steals though, at least, like, it's not nothing. He'll end up with 7 or 8. Like, that is something that you have to consider when you're talking about value. So for me, I will take Ramirez, who kind of just looks like the guy that we expected him to be. And that was 11, right? So
yes,
that's where I'm going. Which is 12.
And now we're at 12. I think Bieber. I think this is where you take Bieber, or you got Bieber and Winker. I think you make all sorts of different.
I'm still not doing the Winker thing, man. He's up there. He's up there for me, and I have him as my 14th.
Well, look, Bieber and Trout. What do you want to do? Something like that.
No, there's no Trout. He's out a month, dude. How about that?
There's no Trout. There's no Dana. Only Zool.
That's a Ghostbusters reference. You can't go wrong with it. I think you could take I think Bieber is absolutely right. What do you think of? I'm going to throw out a couple other guys who I would consider, right? What about Freddie Freeman? Are you worried about the fact that he's off to a quote-unquote slow start?
No, I love Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's fantastic.
What about Bo Bichette? he's kind of doing it all a little bit.
Yeah, you
Like
could
his.
probably shed that conversation.
Okay.
I'll give you the Larry David.
And who
Say.
is your next pitcher after Bieber? Is it Burns? I mean, because you were talking about him.
I do
For
love
me, I
Corbin
still
Burns.
have Bauer, but it's there's no tier. Like you could take Scherzer very easily. I'd have
You
no
can take
problem with
Scherzer too.
that. Woodruff.
Well,
You
here you
know,
go. Again, once again, this is why points leagues are better because here you go. Points, Garrett Cole so far in the year, and this is in my points league at home, so this is a really good scoring system. This is the one I put out in the Black Book every year. If people want to do this because it values everything kind of equally, but it's very user friendly. 262 for Cole, 258 for Bauer, 252 for Max Scherzer, Zach Wheeler's 247. DeGrom has 263, who missed time. Kevin Gossman has 265, and Bieber has 267 in terms of points. Now, Bieber's made all of his starts. That's kind of the difference, and Cole just had that bad hiccup start. But, I mean, yeah, these guys are all very, very close. And Corbin Burns missed time as well. He's at 215, but he's only got 59 innings thrown so far. So you had another 2 or 3 starts there, and all of a sudden, he's probably in that same exact range, too. So it really just becomes choose your flavor.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me because that's basically how I feel about them as well.
All right. Well, basically, how we feel is that Father's Day is right around the corner, and it's time for Father's Day to get the man in your life a Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. That's right. And look, you need a gift for the hairy father. All right. So, and you might be the hairy father. All right. You just might be. You have to understand this. And who knows? Maybe like father, like son. Maybe you get 2, but you want to get the Lawnmower 4.0 and ultra smooth package. That's right. I'm not making this up. The ultra smooth package. Yes, I get paid to say this. Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below the waist grooming, and their brand new shaving tools have just dropped. That's right, just in time for Father's Day. So go get that Lawnmower 4.0. It's available in the USA, in Canada. 7,000 RPMs of skin-safe technology. You got the 4K LED light. You've also got the new guard lengths 1 through 4. You also have the crop exfoliator, which is infused with ingredients that can soothe, clear, and keep the skin on and around your groin feeling refreshed and reducing the risk of ingrown hairs by your delicates. You also get the crop gel, and you can see where you're shaving with a unique clear shaving gel for the groin. And it's time to shave. Get it? You save and you shave. The crop shaver. It was designed for shaving the groin area with confidence. So if you're still with us after all that discussion about shaving groins, please go to manscaped.com, get that Lawnmower 4.0 new package, 20% off and free shipping. Again, this is for Father's Day. It's a special, the Ultra Smooth package, which is what I am. Use that code leading off, Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. And Dan was supposed to remind me about the new Manscaped read. Luckily for all of you, I remembered on my own today.
Oh, that's why you're the best. My bad on that.
That's
My
all
bad.
right. So nobody hit home runs yesterday. So everyone's a loser, as Mike Mayer pointed out to me earlier this morning. So look, we got to fly through this. So let's go. Here we go. So we have first of all, the good chalk is the Dodgers against the Pirates, but you don't need me to tell you that, even though I just did. Walker Buehler, 10.8 on FanDuel, 9.8 on DK. Nola 8.3, 9.4. Nola's numbers at home have been exponentially better. Therefore, you can get back into him. You can even on 8.3 on FanDuel play him as a tournament pitcher today. Tyler Glass now is 11 and 10. He's always good, but he's expensive. Shane Bieber 11.5, 10.3. But Nola's the interesting one because he's at home. The numbers kind of back and forth, but look at those splits. We've talked about splits. This is a time to get in. My boy Framber is also on the slate today. 10K for him on FanDuel, but on DK, Dan, he's just 8.6. Lopez 9.6 on FanDuel, 8.7 on DK. Alex Wood only 8K on DK, but 8.7 on FanDuel. And Chris Bassett 9.7 on FanDuel, just 8.8. So you got a lot of good secondary arms tonight over on DraftKings, Valdez being the one along with Alex Wood. You can even pair them together if you like tonight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I am surprised that Valdez is so cheap on DK. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I get that it's the Red Sox, but he's looked so good, especially in his last start since coming back. So he's really the guy who I'm going after. I don't hate Pablo Lopez either, who, again, got the benefit of supposed to start yesterday against the Red Sox, now gets to start at home against the Rockies. You know, they're both roughly the same price on DK. So I do like both of those as arms, but I think I'm going Frember. I was just so enticed with what I saw from him last time. And I get that it's the Red Sox, which makes me think he'll be probably less owned. So he's probably where I'm going for the secondary arm.
Nice. All right, the stacks tonight: Los Angeles Dodgers and Cleveland Indians. Also, like the game stack between the Cubs and the San Diego Padres. Pick a side or run away. Robbie Ray 9-3 and 9-5 versus Carlos Rodon on the road in Chicago 10-6, 9-7. I'm running away because it's not necessary. I mean, Bieber, Nola, Bueller, Valdez, Glasnow. Forget it, right? We're just running away.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. This is a slate where if you don't love a matchup or a hitter, you can just easily get away because there are a lot of great options on both sides. So I'm staying away with you.
Not a lot of great lineup builders on DK tonight, but Taylor Ward at 2.9, Clint Frazier is a free square at 2K. Also on Gavin Lux at 3.72. He is also cheap on FanDuel, so if you switch over to the FanDuel side, looking for lineup builders tonight, Gavin Lux is 2.7, Ty France is 2.3, Corey Dickerson's hitting the ball a little bit lately, he's just 2.2, free square alert, also Alex Dickerson, his lesser-known brother, 2.2, so you get all the Dickersons, you can do the double Dickerson tonight, no Manscaped read attached to that, but double Dickerson, 2.2, 2.2, add it all together. You know what that is. I'm terrible at math. We learned that yesterday on the other pod. Jock Peterson, 2.7K. Andrew Vaughn is 2K. And Cesar Hernandez is just 2.2 on FanDuel. But on DK, he's 4.8, I think, or something crazy. Like, I was like, I don't understand. You talk about a price variance. It's nuts. Dan Harris, it's time to call our shot. So who you got tonight? Who's leaving the yard?
Well, after crapping on him as a potential first-round pick, I am going to go to Cincinnati and Jesse Winker at home in that little park. The guy, what do you want? I mean, he's just
so cute.
He's dominant.
Little
park against Adrian Hauser. He's expensive. I mean, he's 4-4 on FanDuel, but I think he's worth it. He's going to be like the guy I pay up for tonight. So Winker for me is my home run call.
And I know, and Mike's brought up, Framber facing the Red Sox, second straight start, red flag. I get it, Mike Mayer, but here's the thing. This is where you can make money. It might go south. It's possible. Okay, It's baseball. But I think on DK, you take that shot, especially at that price. He's much cheaper on DraftKings. I think you can double up there. And Martin Perez he's not dominating. Martin Perez is pitching well, and I want to give him a lot of credit. And you're right. There is some, It's not a cash game play. It's a tournament play. That's probably where you want to go. Also, Derek Johnson had a good question, and then I'll get to my home run call. Out of curiosity, where would Kyle Tucker go in the redraft for you guys? I'm thinking late second, early third round. Probably like a third rounder, I think. I think all those pitchers go in the second round for me.
It depends on right now in my rest of season rankings, Joe, and kudos to you. I have him right now 25th. So that's right on the border. And again, that is behind like 7 or 8 of those pitchers that I just have ranked all in a row. So he's right there. You can take him in the second round if you felt fine about pitching.
All right. So I know Dan's trying to make up for Jesse Winker after he told him he didn't belong in the first round.
That's what I do, by the way. You know this as somebody who I work with. I insult you, I bring you down, and then I just give you a little compliment just to get the best out of you,
It's called grooming. I think it was all right. I'm going to go with Fernando Tatis Jr., who I was ready to take 1-1. See, I just stay on brand. That's how I roll.
That's fine.
So that's what we're doing there. So Tatis for me, Winker for Dan. We're going with the big names tonight, although I hope one of the Dickersons hits a home run. Actually, I hope they both do. So you can go full double Dickerson, which would be nice. All right, Dan, we did give away the Vladdy baseball. Is that correct? Before I talk about, by the way, the Ohtani ball can be yours if the price is right. Go to fantasypros.com/MLB contest. You can get that right now. Just leave that review on Apple Podcasts or CastBox. You then screenshot it, fill out the form at fantasypros.com/MLB contest, and then you are entered to win the Ohtani ball. But the Vlad ball goes to
David from Elk Grove, California. Congratulations, David. Excellent. Woo! And remember, if you entered and you didn't win, you are automatically entered for the Shohei Ohtani signed baseball. So don't worry about it.
Very good. Finally, it only took a week this time. Last time it took a month to give away the last time.
That's true.
Nobody wanted Acuna. I mean, we're giving away first round talents here.
I know.
Acuna, we just give away Vlad. We're giving away Ohtani. Come on, this is first round swag.
I know.
What we want to do is give you free stuff. Any parting words of wisdom before we sign off today, Mr. Harris?
No, I'm just really excited to have baseball to watch tonight because my part of my soul felt empty last night. I was just sitting there. What's going on?
I think you needed a break, though. It's a very busy weekend.
It's fair.
I think that's what you needed. I think you did get the reset. You just didn't realize it. So.
That's right. Fair enough.
All right, that'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. We'll be back again to do it all tomorrow. For Dan Harris, I'm Joe Pisapia. We'll see you next time, kids.